Milan, welcome to the cave. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate you, man.
And I can't wait for listeners, the viewers that tune into the interview. They can see you on Netflix's FUBAR. I binge, like I said, off the air, I binge the show, 7 episodes in. We got one more to go. What a great
All
series
right,
so
so
far,
what do
man.
you think, man? Hold up, 7 episodes. You got to tell me what you
I
think.
love it. I love it.
Hey, thank you, man.
It's got
Appreciate you.
it's got that whole, like that action slash comedy. Like it reminds you kind of like those 90s action, like True Lies type of movies.
That part. Yeah, it's a nod to it for sure.
So yeah, we're gonna jump more into the series in a few minutes, but part of the show you coming on, I want to get to know a little bit more about you and everything. Acting world, my friend. I know you grew up in Philadelphia, right?
West Philadelphia, born and raised on the
Yeah.
playgrounds for most of my days. Yes, sir.
What made you jump to the industry? What made you go for the entertainment
Ah,
industry?
Honestly, bro, my senior in high school, right? I had a tumultuous relationship with my stepfather. I got kicked out. I had a very violent interaction with him, and I wound up moving from South Jersey, where I went to one of the best academic high schools, where I probably could have went to anywhere I wanted. Want to go to Ivy League? Easy. But then I found myself at Overbrook High School, which is actually Will Smith's alma mater, and I was like, "Yo, this is the hood, right?" It's like people getting shot, stabbed, everything at my school was crazy, and I was like, I'm not going to get an academic scholarship here. So I need to figure something out. And I wound up doing mock trial because the year before the school actually made it to the city finals and won the city championship. And three of the people on the team actually got scholarships. One went to Dartmouth. And I was like, all right, maybe I'll do that. And my principal actually came to one. We made it to the semifinals of the city championship. And she said, "Hey, Milan, you speak really well. And I have this thing coming up, and I actually want you to be our spokesperson for it." And I was like, all right, cool. That thing happens to be MTV's TRL, and Will Smith was the guest on the show, and I got to co-host TRL as a senior in high school. And that right there gave me the bug. I was like, yo, I gotta go to LA. And it was acting or hosting. And I said, whatever door opens up first is a door I'm gonna go through. And I wound up doing journalism for 6 years, and then I made the transition, and now I'm a full-time actor.
Yeah. Would you ever go to hosting again? Would you ever do it?
I would love to do a game show. I'd love
Okay.
games. I literally walk around with a game bag, and I have a game bag on set every day. So every time we had lunch breaks, people come to my trailer and we just set up shop. So game shows probably the only thing I would love to host.
Amazing. What's your favorite game? Did I read somewhere chess? You like chess?
Chess definitely is my top game. But I think if I had to say favorite, it would be Connect Four, and that's
Okay.
because the learning curve is so short. But it takes a lifetime to master, right? It's like everybody can play Connect Four, but everybody's not great. But I can just walk down the street and show somebody a Connect Four board, and we can get busy. Whereas like
Mm.
chess is like, I got to teach you something before we get playing.
You've done a little voiceover work too, right? Video games.
Actually, I motion capture really,
Oh,
right?
it's
So,
motion
yeah,
capture.
I was in a NBA 2K20. That I guess that was like one of my first acting breaks. So I had a chance to play one of the characters in the story mode and that, and I got the bug. I got to work alongside Idris Elba, and he poured into me, man, and he really made the dream real. And then that's when acting started to take off from there.
In the industry, who do you look up to? Try to like watch their stuff, try to model like just to make your craft bigger and better.
Who do I look up to? I guess if I say people I look up to, like I love people like Donald Glover. He's a writer, actor. I love the slashes, right? Because I write as well, and I want to create, and I think he broke the mold. Like Atlanta was one of the first shows of its kind. I also love Larry David, man. Like from Curb Your Enthusiasm,
Yeah.
Seinfeld. Like he really writes what we think, even though it's like, hey, in real life, if that character in Curb Your Enthusiasm was a real person, you hate him but you love to watch him on TV for sure.
What's your goal? What's the ultimate goal?
Ultimate goal is to be a mogul, right? I think I love the Tyler Perry model. Like you started your own thing, started on the stage, and then you created things, and then you're creating opportunities for other people. Ultimately, I consider myself a storyteller, and there's certain stories that I feel like need to be told, and I want to share those. So that's definitely what I want to do is create and give other people opportunities as well.
Now, you've been in the comedy slash action world. Is there like a certain role you kind of hope you get your hands on someday too?
Oh, absolutely, man. And again, like I want to create. So my goal is I want to be a treasure hunter, man. I love like Indiana Jones,
Yeah.
anything about treasure. Uncharted movie was amazing as well. So that's my goal right now. I'm working on a project, searching for Moose's gold, and it's basically is like a treasure searching for Mansa Musa, who's basically one of the richest people in history. And two brothers from the hood of West Philly actually get a chance to leave the hood for the first time and go looking for his gold.
Are you excited about the Indiana Jones movie? I know I am.
Oh my goodness. Listen, I binge watched all of them recently. So it's like, yes, I'm super hyped. It gets no better, man. Steven Spielberg is a genius just for creating the series. And Harrison Ford, man, come on. You can't miss.
Throughout all this, throughout like your journey into the acting world and everything, in the entertainment world, did you ever think you were going to work with Arnold?
Not a day in my lifetime. Like it didn't even cross my mind, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sitting at home and now since the pandemic, you get a lot of self-tape auditions. And I see something come across my desk and it's like, action comedy, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Okay, I'll probably never get this, but hey, why not swing for the fences? So I wound up, got the audition, and I did no less than 50 self tapes, right? And I was like,
Wow.
hey, out of this, one of these has to be the thing. And I was like, I still was unsure, so I'm gonna send you 4 takes. I sent them 4 different takes. I was like, one of these has to hit, and here we are now.
Amazing. So yeah, let's jump more into FUBAR now and everything. You said 4 tapes. Did you have any idea which one they watched? Or
Uh,
you were hoping they watch out of those 4?
I had so I love sitcoms, right? And that's all I wanted to do is just be in a sitcom, have a regular job, a regular schedule, and that's so I was like, all right, I got big comedy, and then I was like, all
Mm.
right, I'm gonna give you something a little bit more compact because I don't know what direction this show is going in. So I said, hey, you got both, so you can see what I can do. And something that a comedy producer told me a long time ago, he says, I can never tell you to be funnier. I can always tell you to pull back. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna swing for these fences. And if anything, you can see I'm funny and I got the chops, and you can always tell me to dial it back a little bit.
What was the description you were given for Barry?
Lovable man child who is really great at his job and in the CIA.
Mm. So how did you prepare to play this role once you booked the role?
Man, I feel like this is one of the things I feel like sometimes it's kind of close to who you are, right?
Mm.
I've always been a blurred, I've loved anime comics. He loves pop culture, and that's what I was really into. Being a journalist made me always have to stay, up with my game and relevant. And I just really had to do a lot of research on like 90s and 80s like cartoons, like He-Man, Thundercats, Voltron. And I just reached out to my older brother because my oldest brother is 10 years older than me. So he had
Yeah.
all the action figures, all the toys, and he gave me the scoop. And it was like, all right, that part was easy. And now it's just like, hey, I'm already a nerd. I love tech. I love everything. And it just felt like a glove, man. It fit like a glove.
Amazing. How did it feel when you walked into one of your filming days and you walked into your apartment and you have all those toys in there, all those Funko Pops and
Oh
everything?
my goodness, right? I was waiting for that day and to see how much they built out the set. It was ridiculous. Like they did all that in what, less than 24 hours. So
Mm.
shout out to the production team and what they were able to create. And I was thoroughly in awe, man. Like so the attention to detail that they put into every single action figure from my action figure diorama, which I talk about a lot in the show, like it was special, man. It felt like my brother's old playroom.
So playing this character Barry also, you're like, I like him because he's funny, but he also likes his toys and everything. For you as an actor now, any challenges playing this character, or was it easy to connect with him?
Uh if I'm being honest, I feel like sometimes there's a stereotype on what a nerd is, right? And
Mm.
that was my biggest thing is I didn't want to be the stereotype, right? Like uh growing up, I was always the corniest kid in the hood and X, Y, Z. But now in Hollywood, I'm kind of cool. And I was like, when did I become cool? And so playing this, it's like you have to fight with what Hollywood says is cool versus like if I go back home right now, like my brother spent over 12 years in prison, all his friends, everything's I'm soft. Like I'm a nerd to them. But so it's like trying to make the mold of what's true to me and staying honest to what it means to be a nerd, means to be a geek to me, but also making it, digestible for the world and universal, because storytelling is what brings us together. So I wanted to tell a great story that everybody could connect to.
What do you love about this character?
He's an underdog, man. I've been an underdog all my
Yeah.
life, and I think he's the lovable underdog that you want to root for. You want to see him win because ultimately, he comes from nothing. Barry grew up in foster care, and he didn't really have a family. So just like me, I moved to LA. I didn't have a single friend when I moved out here, and somebody took me under their wing, and now I spend every Christmas at their house. And Barry's the same. So Arnold's character, Luke Bruner, took Barry underneath his wing on his day one at the CIA, and he brought him in. And Barry will do anything to take care of his family and make sure they're good.
When you first start watching the series, at first we see you and Arnold, Luke, and before we even meet the team, how do you describe like that relationship and that bond between you two?
Oh, it's like it's a father, man. Like
Yeah.
Arnold really was like a dad to everybody on set, and he pours into you constantly. It's like you get to that level, and they say never meet your idols, right? Because you'll be disappointed. But nah, like Arnold is surpasses anything you could ever imagine, and he wants to see you win. He'll sit there and ask you questions like, "Yo, what do you want to do? What is your goal?" and help you build out vision, because that's what he's all
Mm.
about. It's like have a clear vision, and if you have that, no matter your ups and downs, your struggles, you'll be so focused on that goal it doesn't matter, and you'll just be excited to get there. So, to answer your question about building that chemistry, that relationship with Arnold, it was easy because on day one, Arnold was like, "Yo, you made me break in my audition. You were hilarious, and I think you're an amazing actor, and we're gonna have a good time." So from that, it was like, "Yo, I'm hanging out with my friend. I'm hanging out with my dad. I'm having a good time."
Yeah. And sometimes that's like the best feeling when you're working on since I've had a guest on where it's like when it's like a family type of niche show, it's like it's easier to work with and the flow is easy.
100%. And I think it starts at the top. Like one thing Travis said on day one. So as soon as we landed, the first thing he did is give us like some weapons training.
Yeah.
And in weapons training, Travis like, we're supposed to be like best friends. Can we go to dinner or something? And so, we went to dinner like that first Friday. We were out there, we all hung out and we all hit it off. And I think the main thing is we're all super humble, and we just want to make something good for the world, right? We've been stuck in the house for 2 years, the pandemic, and now we're all coming out of it. And it's like, yo, let's make something that feels good. And I feel like that's what we did.
We also see now your character interacts with Tina, played by Parna.
Mhm.
I love it. I love the way that your character has the crush on her, wants to go out with her and everything. Tell us a little bit about that chemistry.
Oh man, first off, shout out to Aparna. She's amazing, so giving, so loving, super sweet. And yeah, like just like me, like I haven't always had the best luck with women, and I haven't been the most confident all my life. So, uh Tina is on loan. Aparna plays Tina in the show, and she's on loan from the NSA to the CIA. And immediately, as soon as she walks through the door, woo, she takes my breath away. And so Barry, not being great with girls, he's great at his job, but not
Mm,
great with girls, has to figure it out and struggle through it. And that's why, as I said, episode 7, my favorite episode, is when Barry actually steps up to the gate, and
yeah.
that's when his arc really starts to arc. And he gets a little bit of love advice, and it gets a little wild and a little crazy.
One of my favorite scenes with your character is when you do the swap in the jail. And your character's in there when he's hearing the screaming. That's what we kind of know. We see a little, you're scared. You get a little bit scared.
So yeah, I make a joke because that's like my brother. I told you, spent 12 years in prison. But now he's turned his life around and created a whole restaurant down North Pizza where they only hire ex felons. But I always tell them I'm not built for jail. And
Mm,
jail is a scary place, and prison is different than jail. He'll correct me on that. And it's so in real life, I wouldn't want to be any part of that. So to have to play that on TV, it was like it stuck me to my soul. It was like to take your freedom away and be in a Turkish prison where people are getting shanked and killed every day. No, thank you. No, thank you. So, but I think that just shows, Barry's heart. Like he knows he's not built for that. He knows he would never survive in that situation. But lives are on the line, and the world is more important than just one person. So he will do anything to save him, the family, and also to save the world.
we mentioned family. There's been a few times you've also been referenced as Uncle Barry.
Yes. I make the line "Black don't crack." I got to add that in the script, and yeah, like Arnold took me in. So Monica's character, Emma Bruner, I came into her life when she was about 11 years old. So I've been a part of the family since she was knee high to a grasshopper, and now they all took me in. So it's like I get the fun of playing both sides of the show because I'm a part of the CIA, but I'm also a part of Arnold and Monica's family. And it's great to be able to have that dynamic and to be able to switch in and out.
Out of all the characters are amazing. They all have like a little arc for their storyline too. Like, but other than your character, who's your favorite character?
Oh, I think hands down would be Fortune's character, right? So she plays Rue.
Yeah.
And I feel like Nick was like, "You're the comedian. I'm gonna give you all the punchlines. I'm gonna give you all the jokes." And I low-key had close to a perfect score on my SATs in math. And she's also a mathematician in the show. So it's like the fact that she tries to shoot a bullet from a hospital, like on the seventh floor, like almost 2 miles away, and does all the math. Like, hey, that is amazing, and I would love to do stuff like that.
What's your favorite scene or episode? You said you mentioned episode 7 is your favorite, but is there a certain scene that
Oh,
excited
100%.
you?
When I come in asking about when Barry comes in episode 7 asking for sex advice is hands down my favorite episode. And I think it's one of the episodes that really brought us together because we
Yeah.
all get to joke on each other, just how you do with your family. So it's like, yeah, like, hey, I had sex, one time with my cousin's cousin, and it wasn't great. I think that right there takes the cake for me.
I gotta know, is there gonna be any bloopers that get released? Because all these one-liners, there's no way you guys are not breaking character.
Oh, I don't break. It's like, no, I'm playing. No, there's going to be tons of bloopers, and I think what everybody will be surprised about is the one who ad libs the most, and it's throws in random lines is Arnold. Like he'll come in this ad libbing, and it's like you just got to be ready to keep up. And a lot of times Arnold broke people, and it was great, man.
So we have 8 episodes for this season. What do you hope audience will remember mostly about your character and your performance?
I think I hope that they will be like, "Oh, this dude is funny." That's what I want first and foremost. But also, I want them to be able to relate and see that no matter how dark it is, no matter what you think your shortcomings are, like
Mm,
you can always achieve. You can always add value to something, right? Because Barry has a heart condition, so he can't get out in the field and do what everybody else is doing all the time. But even still, he contributes and makes sure we all win in the end. So I want people to realize, like underdogs, like it's okay to be an underdog. It's an exciting place because people count you out. So this way, it gives you a nice little way to sneak in and surprise somebody.
so what about for like themes or messages for people who watch the show? What do you hope the main theme will be watching the
The
series?
main theme is love conquers all, man.
Mm,
Love conquers all, but in a funny way, right? Because you can say love conquers all, you get this deep, dramatic piece, but no, like let's have fun, man. Let's have fun. Let's love and keep partying, man. It's the summer, man. It's time to turn up.
like I said, we're a few days away from the release of the series, and so far the reviews have been great.
Thank you.
Any ideas for another season? Have you heard anything yet? I know it's kind of early.
You know, nothing yet. Netflix hasn't given the whole green light yet, so I think they're going to
Yeah.
wait until see how the world receives it. So I'm excited. I've been pitching my little storyline that I want because everybody else got to have a little backstory, and I
Right.
love anime, so you got to have a good backstory. Barry grew up in foster care, but what if Barry was trained as a ninja, then he got brainwashed and he doesn't remember. And then it gets
Mm.
unlocked by getting knocked in the head or something like that. Next thing you know, Barry's out there kicking butt.
Amazing. Milan, what's next for you now? Any other projects you're allowed to tell us about that you got coming out or you're going to work on?
I'm working on a project, very personal, very special to me. It's called, Searching for Moose's Gold. And, loosely, it's two brothers from the hood searching for Mansa Musa's gold and, the
Mm,
richest man in history. And I think that's super exciting because you've never really seen a treasure hunter for the first time. You always see people who, have already been deep in the game and are really good at what they do. But a fish out of water, like never leaving the hood. And next thing you know, here you are in Africa, traveling across the
mm,
seas, man. I think that'd be a lot of fun for people to enjoy and a great message.
amazing. Is your plan like on streaming service for this or what's the plan?
The plan is like whoever wants to get it, they can
Yeah,
get it.
there you go. Milan, how can the listeners and viewers find you on social media, keep up with you with everything?
Hey, you can find me everywhere at Milan Carter, MILANCARTER.
Well, this was great. Thank you for giving me a few minutes, and hopefully we get a season 2. We get you back on the show.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.